The report from that night contained a single line that didn't make any sense. Movement detected in the hallway. No figure, no shadow, no reflection. Still, the system insisted someone had been there. The strange part wasn't that one camera triggered, it was that every camera did. Different floors, different angles, same exact timestamp. Whatever moved through that building didn't walk, and it didn't need to be seen. By the time the train pulled out of the station, most of the car was already empty. It was late. Not end of the night late, but that quiet hour when the city hasn't fully gone to sleep, and yet no one seems to be awake either. I chose a seat near the middle of the car, not too close to the doors, not near the windows. That choice felt important at the time, even though I didn't know why. The lights inside the train flickered once as we started moving, then stabilized, bathing everything in that dull, artificial glow that makes time feel slower than it really is. Across from me, 2 seats were empty. To my left, a man stared at his phone without scrolling. Further down the car, someone coughed, then went silent again. Nothing felt wrong yet. If anything, it felt routine, predictable, almost boring. The train picked up speed, and the familiar vibration settled into the floor beneath my feet. I remember thinking how normal everything looked, how unremarkable the ride felt. And that was the last moment where I could honestly say nothing was out of place. I noticed the silence before I noticed anything else. Not the absence of sound, but the absence of variation. The train kept moving, but the rhythm never changed. No slowing, no slight vibration that usually comes before a stop. Just the same constant motion, as if we were gliding instead of riding rails. I checked the screen above the doors. The station name changed, then changed again, too fast. I leaned back and tried to ignore it, telling myself the schedule must be different at night. Still, I realized something strange. Every time the station name changed, the lights inside the car flickered, just for a fraction of a second. Not enough to alarm anyone, not enough to prove anything, but enough that my eyes kept returning to the screen. I waited for the familiar sound, the chime, the hiss of the doors unlocking. It never came. The train passed another station, and another. And that's when I understood this wasn't a delay. The train wasn't stopping at all. I looked around the car for confirmation. Anyone reacting, anyone noticing what I was noticing, but no one moved. A man stood near the door, staring straight ahead. Not at his phone, not at the tunnel, just ahead. 2 seats down, a woman held her bag tightly in her lap, eyes fixed on the floor as if she was afraid to look up. No one spoke. No one checked the doors. It felt rehearsed, like everyone knew something I didn't. I stood up and walked toward the nearest door. The glass reflected my face back at me, paler than I remembered. I pressed the button. Nothing. No sound, no resistance. It was as if the button wasn't connected to anything at all. I tried the emergency intercom. My finger hovered for a second. Then I pressed it. Nothing happened. No response. No static. Just silence. When I turned around, I realized every passenger was now looking at me. Not with fear, not with concern, but with the same empty expression, as if I had just broken a rule I didn't know existed. The train slowed down. Relief hit me instantly. Lights outside shifted, the sound changed. We were arriving at a station. I stepped closer to the door, heart pounding. The platform slid into view. Same tiles, same cracked signs, same flickering light above the bench. I had seen this station before. The train stopped. For a moment, everything felt normal again. Then I realized something was wrong. The doors didn't open, no chime, no movement, just the sound of the engine idling. 10 seconds passed, then 20. The platform lights flickered once, and the train started moving again. The station disappeared behind us. No one reacted, no one complained, no one even blinked. I checked the sign above the door, same station name, we had just left it. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A notification. I pulled it out. No signal, no time, just one message on the screen. It read, "You already missed it." That message stayed on my screen. "You already missed it." I refreshed the phone. Nothing changed, no time, no bars, no battery icon, just the message. I locked the screen. Slowly, I lifted my head. The train felt different, not louder, not faster, heavier, like it was carrying more than before. I noticed the reflection in the window. My own face stared back at me, but something was off. The reflection blinked a second late. I turned away. My breathing sounded too loud in my ears. That's when I realized the train was no longer stopping at stations. They passed by now, one after another. Lights, platforms, signs, all blurred together. I counted 3 stations, then 4, then 5. None of them slowed the train. None of them made sense. I stood up. My legs felt unsteady, like the floor was subtly moving beneath me. As I stepped into the aisle, I felt it, a pressure, not a hand, not a touch, just the certainty that something behind me had noticed. I didn't turn around, I didn't need to, because the reflection in the window had changed. There was another shape now, tall, still, standing exactly where I was a moment ago. And it wasn't moving. Something changed. Not around me, but inside me. Until now, I believed I was reacting to what was happening, that I was being followed, observed, tested. But standing there, completely still, I realized something terrifying. Nothing had moved in a long time. No sounds, no signals, no signs that anything was approaching. And yet, the fear hadn't faded. That's when it hit me. Whatever this was, it didn't need to chase me anymore. The moment I tried to understand it, truly understand it, I felt the shift, like crossing an invisible line you can never step back over. I wasn't being hunted. I had already been chosen, and the worst part wasn't the silence. It was the certainty that from this point on, nothing I did would make a difference. By now, I had stopped asking what was happening. The more terrifying question was why it felt familiar. Nothing around me had changed. The room was the same. The sounds were the same. Even my breathing followed the same rhythm. But something inside my head had shifted. It felt like realizing you've been holding your breath for hours and only noticing once it starts to hurt. That's when I understood the pattern. Every time I tried to focus on the fear, it softened. Every time I tried to ignore it, it grew heavier. It wasn't chasing me. It was waiting, not outside, not behind me, inside the moments where my attention drifted. And that's when the thoughts surfaced, quiet, uninvited, undeniable. Maybe this wasn't something that happened to me. Maybe this was something I had already accepted and only now was becoming aware of. And once that idea took hold, it refused to leave. I tested it one last time. I forced myself to stay fully present, counting breaths, grounding my thoughts, watching every detail around me. For a few seconds, it worked. The pressure eased. The silence felt neutral, almost safe. Then I blinked. And in that tiny gap, no longer than a heartbeat, something rearranged itself. Not in the room. In me, the fear didn't rush back. It settled, like something that had finally found its place. I wasn't being watched anymore. I was being held. And with that came the most disturbing realization of all. If I tried to leave now, I wouldn't be escaping. I would be interrupting something that had already decided to keep me. And the thought that followed was quieter than fear, but far more dangerous. What if I had already stayed too long to notice? I don't remember deciding to stay. There was no moment where I said yes. No sudden surrender. just a quiet realization that leaving no longer made sense. The fear was still there, but it had changed. It wasn't sharp anymore. It wasn't loud. It was familiar. I noticed how calm my breathing had become, how my thoughts stopped racing, how the silence no longer felt empty. That's when it scared me, because fear doesn't disappear like that. It doesn't soften unless something replaces it. I tried to remember why I wanted to leave in the first place, what I was afraid of, what felt wrong. And the answers felt distant, like memories that belonged to someone else. I realized then that nothing was holding me here. No doors, no force, no presence watching me, just the absence of resistance. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't a place you escaped from. It was a place you slowly stopped wanting to escape. I don't know how long I've been here now. Time doesn't behave the same anymore. But sometimes I think about the moment someone else will arrive, confused, alert, still fighting. And I wonder how long it will take before they stop fighting too.